Hey, Jonathan, how's it going?
Hey, Michael. It's great to chat with you. I'm well. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I've heard a lot about you kind of like through the grapevine, so I'm really excited to chat with you and just get to meet you today.
Same, and it sounds like you're doing really good work. Excited to learn more about where you're headed following North Shore.
I guess to get started, could you just tell me a little bit about your life post North Shore, like college and then beyond?
Absolutely. Graduated North Shore in 2015 and went down to Vanderbilt University in Nashville. And I studied human and organizational development there. In my junior year of college, I really got together with a classmate on campus and we started looking at this idea of decarbonizing the aviation industry, which is an industry that I'm really passionate about and always have been. And we started looking at using nuclear power sources to power aircraft and sustain flight for extended periods of time with zero carbon emissions. And this turned from a project into a company. I went to a tech accelerator in Los Angeles with my co-founders in 2019 and really developed this concept of using small scale nuclear to be able to provide clean power in remote environments. And we're no longer looking at actually powering aircraft, we're looking at space and undersea applications. But I really transitioned directly out of college into pursuing a startup, and it's been an incredible journey.
Going into college, did you know you were going to start your own company or be working with radioisotopes?
No, I really didn't. And, I always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and I come from a family of entrepreneurs. So I had a desire to start a company from an early age. But I thought I was going to go into the airline industry. And I did work at United for a couple of summers, and that's where I really had this initial idea in the aviation industry. But I wouldn't have guessed that I'd end up in the nuclear energy industry right out of school, and I've really developed a passion for it. And I think that's been really interesting, kind of seeing you know ending up somewhere where I didn't necessarily expect, but developing such a deep passion for it by digging into it. And so that's how I got here. I wouldn't have said that I would have guessed that I would be running a nuclear energy startup this soon after school, though.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times in life, like a lot of the great things you do are the ones that you don't expect to do. So that's really awesome.
No, that's exactly right. And I've heard you're entrepreneurially inclined as well. Are you planning to study uh, anything
I'm
related?
going to be going into business school, undergrad business school, and I'm going to be studying finance and maybe business analytics at the University of Pennsylvania. So I'm really excited about that and really just excited to branch out, broaden my horizons, really. Interesting. Yeah, I want to hear more about that actually. What experiences and lessons did you learn as a North Shore student that you still carry with you today?
It's a good question. I mean, aside from I think devoting really a specific effort to really getting close to those around me, like we talked about. I think that I learned as a North Shore student to not be dissuaded from pursuing really big ideas and impactful ideas. And I remember walking down the halls at North Shore and seeing the quotes about I'm only passionately curious. And I recall having an idea for Dunk Alzheimer's now about 10 years ago, and thinking that North Shore would never let us kind of rebrand an entire basketball tournament to devote towards one cause. This is a longstanding North Shore tradition. And I remember meeting with Mr. McHugh in the MAC gym and kind of pitching him this idea of creating the Dunk Alzheimer's basketball bash. And immediately he was receptive and supportive of the idea and helped us build and implement what is obviously still a lasting tradition. And I think that taught me that I never be afraid to pursue really big ideas. And the number of folks who said, when we have an idea for a nuclear powered plane, who wrote us saying, you'll never succeed, that's not a good idea, that's been tried before. I think that only motivated us more to try and pursue this problem that others have failed at solving.
Yeah, Jonathan, what are some words of advice for this year's
Do your
graduate?
homework. and not just your homework and your assignments that you get in class, but be better prepared for any meeting, any engagement that you go into than anyone else. Go the extra mile, know who you're talking to, know why they are doing what they are doing, and what your priorities are. So I get to ask Michael now some interesting questions. Tell me about what you're most excited about in this next chapter of your life.
I would say, honestly, just exploring, I guess, Penn's like international community and just experience a larger school. Basically, any school is larger than North Shore. But it's interesting to kind of just see what that's like and navigate that environment socially and intellectually, and yeah.
And of course, what are you going to miss most about North Shore?
I'll miss a lot of things about North Shore, but I would say I'm going to miss most, like we talked about earlier, I know everyone basically. I've been here since kindergarten. I'm a lifer. And with that, everyone kind of knows me. So I think I'm going to miss just, I guess, walking through the halls and knowing every face I see, and then for the most part, knowing me back. It'll be different, like leaving this tight-knit community.
Absolutely. No, it's that's a special dynamic, and you know it better than most, being there since SK, right? And just knowing everyone on a really meaningful level. And again, you got to find ways to create that in the next chapters of your life. It's a hard thing to replicate, but you know what it's like to really have such a trusting relationship with all the people, the friends and teachers around you, that very few others have experienced, not having gone to a school like North Shore. And so I would definitely recommend that you do your best to bring those around you and really close in the future, and try and recreate that dynamic in whatever organization that you're a part of.
I just want to say I really appreciate you taking the time today to come and talk to me. It was really exciting hearing about your story, or at least parts of your story. And it sounds like you have a pretty exciting future ahead of you.
Likewise. Well, I wish you all the best at Penn. You couldn't be more going to a better place for this next chapter, Michael. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for chatting.
Yeah, you as well. All right.
Great talking with you.
You as well. Bye. Have a good one.